Personal finance is hard to manage. Not much money is left once we pay off our rent, transport, and food bills every week. Throw in on top of this your Netflix subscription, weekly gym memberships, and fortnightly catch up with mates, and you could find yourself swimming in a pool of debt. Not everyone is blessed with having a stable source of income handed to them from an early age. You might have a bad run with landing internship jobs and find yourself working in a role that has nothing to do with your field of expertise. So, is it even possible for young adults to live their lives while still saving up money for the future investments? We can treat our finances like a bit of a game. Every purchase possesses its own opportunity cost. If you spend money on a particular item, you might gain something but lose out on something else. For example, this $200 can be put towards a fancy 5-course meal, but what else can we spend the money on? We could put it towards the monthly water bill or a present for your parents. We can categorize most purchases into either discretionary purchases or essential purchases. Discretionary purchases are made purely out of one's enjoyment, such as expensive pieces of clothing, while people cannot do without essential purchases, such as food or water. You must make the correct decision. If I purchase this handbag, can I still afford to pay off the rent for the rest of the month? You must consider how much short-term enjoyment would I get out of making this discretionary purchase. In most cases, we should prioritize essential purchases over discretionary purchases, but this is not always the case, leading to most financial problems for young adults. It would help if you were managing. Number 1. Your income. Secure a consistent inflow of cash. If your primary source of cash is a casual or part-time job, then try to secure another one or two roles to go with it. That way you will be better able to withstand if you were to lose a job. Suppose you have secured a full-time role. In that case, it is pivotal to establish a good relationship with coworkers and managers to improve on your job security or potentially get a raise. If the role is contractually based, meaning there is already a set date to when your role ends, then it will be wise to begin looking for new roles a few months before this date. Side hustles are also viable, such as investing in properties or stock. The more money you can earn, the more room you'll have to plan your budget. Number 2. Plan and stick to a budget. Budgets are a great way to set financial goals and assess situations. Too often we go month to month without a plan, and as a result, years can go by and you will realize that you are still in the same financial position as before. Setting goals creates accountability, and if you put in the effort to plan out your finances, you are more obliged to stick to it. Budgets can be created by determining your short and long term goals and then figuring out how much money needs to be saved to get you to that position. Short term goals could involve a holiday at the end of the year, while long term goals include paying off university debts or purchasing a house. Number 3. Debt accumulates. Credit cards, afterpay, university fees, bills are all potential debts that need to be paid off. It is critical to stay on top of this. You might think to yourself, it's alright, I can pay off this next month, but this mentality is detrimental to a solid financial basis. After all, the more you leave a debt sitting around, the more interest will build up and the more money you have to pay, making it your best interest to pay off debts as soon as possible. Number 4. Emergency funds. It is unwise to be living paycheck to paycheck. Barely scraping through month to month, saving $50 at a time is not an excellent way to build towards a sustainable future. Creating an emergency fund is the best way to prevent this. For instance, every time you receive your paycheck, immediately transfer $200 into a separate bank account that would only be used in emergency cases. This account is to help carry you through unforeseen circumstances and will give you the peace of mind that you have the financial means to cope. However, it should be clarified upon what is and isn't an emergency. For example, desperately needing to purchase a new pair of shoes is not an emergency. And lastly, number 5, stop overspending. Everyone knows how tempting it is to spend money on whatever we want, but this is reckless. This comes back to prioritizing essential items over discretionary items and deciding whether you have to make a purchase. There are times when it's worth for you to spend big money on items, but it's critical not to do it recklessly or if you know you can't afford it. Remember to make intelligent decisions. Everyone knows how difficult it is to save money and stay financially stable. Hopefully, after this video, you have gained some tips that you'll implement to your real everyday lives on saving money.